I've been traveling Southeast Asia for the last 12 months, and before that I've traveled all over Europe and the UK. I've done that for about 10 years. My goal is to give you tips, hints and tricks to make your adventure or your next trip the best it possibly can be. My name's Liam Ayres, and I'm going to be doing a mini series where I go through all the things to help you do cheap travel. And people think that that is cutting corners or missing out, and it's absolutely not. A really important thing when we talk about cheap travel is the mindset, because if you're not in the right mindset, you will fail, I promise you. So I'm going to go through some mindset pieces today, and then the next series is about transportation and how to get the best of it. So part one is all about growth mindset. If you didn't know, there's a really famous psychologist called Carol Dweck, and she wrote a book all about growth mindset. And you might be thinking, what is growth mindset and why does that matter to me? I'm going traveling. Shut up, Liam. Growth mindset means to be able to adapt and change to create skills and abilities to be able to overcome anything. So for travel, because that's where we are, that means being able to adapt and overcome problems. So that missed bus, that late flight, that cancelled meal, or that shut down restaurant after you checked on Google 3 times, that's what it's all about. It's about seeing those as opportunities to learn rather than obstacles and ruining your whole day or holiday or trip just purely because you had one bad moment. Each of these lessons are opportunities to learn rather than being absolute failures. Something that I've talked about lots and lots in sales, which is where I come from previously, is genuine curiosity. And I don't mean just being curious about what's going on around you or where you are or whatever. I mean genuine curiosity. Now that to me looks like you saying, how can I make this work? How can I go a different way? How can I do this differently next time so that this outcome doesn't happen again? And that is genuine curiosity. It's trying to find the solution for each and every of your problem. And obviously you're not going to find a solution for every problem, but the point is that you're looking for that solution. And if you see things as not frustration, so instead of saying, this is too hard, I can't be bothered, it's not going to work, or whatever you might say normally, think about it as like, how can I make it work? And this will help you basically be more creative in solutions, and it'll help you overcome obstacles much quicker. And when you come up against something that may be a bit similar, so maybe a missed flight and a missed bus, you'll start to find the solution immediately. You won't be looking around or getting confused or trying to understand. It'll just come to you naturally. Another part of this for me is to celebrate small wins. Did you manage to stay in budget? That's a small win. Did you manage to make it to the event on time? Another small win. Did you have a day off? Did you take a break? Because they're really needed when you're traveling. Days off are paramount. If you manage to have a day off, you did nothing all day, that's a small win. And well done to you. And look, this is a reminder to you. Every traveler starts somewhere. Maybe you're just going out for the weekend, taking your backpack with you. Maybe you're doing a 4-day hike. Or maybe you've decided, like me, on your first ever trip to do 6 months away. That's fine, and it doesn't matter. Each person is going to learn their own way, and they're going to learn as their trip or their travels go on. This mindset, known as the growth mindset, will help you not only stay on course, but also help you stay on your budget and keep you curious. So you'll start looking for different things, which is great because it brings us on to our next point, which is cognitive flexibility. So what is cognitive flexibility? Cognitive flexibility to me is the ability to adapt and overcome. Sounds a little bit like Bear Grylls here, but that is essentially what it is. It's all about adapting and overcoming challenges, and especially unexpected situations. Cheap travel generally means that plans change. If you're booking the cheapest hotels or the cheaper hostels or the cheaper flights, cheaper transport, then naturally, unfortunately, things do get cancelled, the drivers don't turn up, and things like that. Now you can let that ruin your whole day, or you can use a bit of cognitive flexibility and you can adapt and overcome. We had a day where we were stuck in somewhere called Sukhothai, stuck there all day because the driver didn't turn up for the bus, but we didn't let it ruin the day. We went out and found stuff to do, and we had an amazing day going around these old temples. Another part of this as well is that you will find that you find last minute deals, and those last minute deals are exactly that. Like, I don't mean last minute like the UK on booking.com and you got 48 hours, I mean an hour beforehand. And they're the best deals in the world, especially at hostels. You'll never see a better deal than a 12 p.m. in the middle of the night asking for a deal there. I've found out to all the travelers I've spoke to that the ones who practice flexibility are actually the happiest and less stressed people. And it doesn't seem to matter whether they're right out of college or whether they're about to retire, whether they have lots of money or a little amount of money, they always seem to be the less stressed, the more flexible they are. And generally we have great trips with these people. Another part of this is to practice saying yes. So not say yes to everything, because that would make it unsafe and obviously unaffordable. But say yes to a lot of things, like just go off and meander, go and find random things. Some of the best times that we've had is going off the beaten path, getting lost, going down an alley and finding like a crazy restaurant that only the locals normally use, or going down an alcove and finding an amazing stay, which is a 2-bedroom house that we never would have found out going down that random street. We also went down a crazy back road in Koh Lanta and had this lovely white beach all to ourselves. Didn't even know that was a thing. Just us and a massive white beach. When you get stressed, just pause, take a moment, reframe, and think, this is an adventure, not a problem. Let's find a solution. Point number 3 is delayed gratification. I think right now everyone can benefit from some delayed gratification. Social media gives us too much too fast. And so delayed gratification will allow you to have a bigger and better appreciation of the things that you do get. If you're still unsure what delayed gratification is, there's a really good test for this. It's called the marshmallow test. So the marshmallow test is a really basic experiment and it's done with children. It's quite an old experiment, but basically what they did, the scientists, is they give children a marshmallow and they said to them they can have that marshmallow right now, or they can wait till later on the day and they'll get 2 marshmallows. Now the cool thing is that later on in their education, the children who'd had delayed gratification and waited for the 2 marshmallows, they typically did better in life. That's what the experiment found anyway. What does this mean though for us who are traveling? Well, it basically means that cut out those small splurges. So you don't need a coffee every day. And maybe you want a coffee every day, so get it. But if you don't need a coffee every day, or you can avoid the coffee every day, that's fine. You can save up during your small cheap travel splurges and you can buy, that water park trip, or you can go to the canyon, or you can go to a waterfall and just have a memory that you can keep. It's basically about prioritizing long-term value over short-term gain. And I talked about celebrating small successes earlier, but this is definitely the time to do it. If you manage to save money out of your budget for 5 days running, definitely celebrate that win, because that means that now you can go and do something else and that'll create a memory. So for me, it's always about focusing on what I can create as a memory. And if you don't know already, my fiance, who I'm traveling with, she has a disability in which she may lose her memory in the future. So we always prioritize the memories and how we can remember how we felt at the time. I'd like to create all these memories so I can show her in the future what our travels look like. Delayed gratification builds patience and also the appreciation of the journey you take. We have 2 more points, and the next one is optimism bias. Cheap travel thrives on optimism bias. And if you don't know already, it's basically where you think good things and good things happen. It's a little bit like manifestation, but not quite as deep, and we're not talking to ourselves in the mirror. Maybe we give ourselves some kind words, but it's essentially, when you need that deal, you're looking for a deal, that deal pops up. And when you really need that help from that local stranger, they just appear. And we've had this happen to us time and time again. We were on a river cruise and we ended up doing it for free because the local guy was like, I could take you in our boat. We were struggling at 3 a.m. when we landed in Vietnam, had nowhere to go. And we bumped into this kind hostel owner who let us stay in a private room for like £2 for the rest of the night, free shower and everything. So that was absolutely amazing. But basically, psychologists call this optimism bias, because if you think good things will come to you. It's like the Jungle Book, the bare necessities of life, they'll come to you. Optimistic travelers are way more likely to bounce back from a problem, an issue, or a setback. Optimism also helps you reduce your anxiety levels and your stress levels that you might be holding internally, and setbacks become a part of your story and your journey. All our funniest stories are things that started as setbacks and then became an amazing day out, or an amazing trip, or an amazing whatever. One example is we got stuck in Singapore airport for 8 hours, and all we got given by the airline was 1 piece of chicken, which is garbage. So we went out and we went into the actual Singapore airport where it has like a crazy waterfall inside. It's the largest waterfall inside. We met these two great people, a Russian lady and a French dude, and we spent 5 hours with them running around the airport, desperately trying to see everything, even though we didn't have enough time to see everything. We had honestly one of the most fun adventures. And then back, and we got to the airline just as they were closing the boarding, which is obviously ridiculous given the amount of time you have, but Singapore airport is ginormous. And you know, that would never have happened if we didn't have that optimistic outlook and that bounce back approach. And number 5 is social connection, and this is my favorite. Research has showed that shared connections are more valuable than going and doing it alone. And while that might sound frustrating or annoying if you're a solo traveler, there's so many opportunities to meet people. And I think that how I feel when I met those people, or how I feel when I spend time with these people, is what makes my adventures the most fun. Everyone that I've met and had a connection with on the way around my travels has given me a memory that I'll cherish forever. And some of them I've got photos with, some of them I have videos with, and each different person brought something completely different to my adventure. And I also think that when I'm on these adventures, they can be the smallest adventures, like going to the shop and meeting someone on the way to the shop, where we met two small boys in the Philippines and they just wanted to ask us a million questions about England, which is great. And we also had like really fun days out where we've done the Harjang Loop with a group, and those people became really close friends in such a short space of time. It's almost like the Love Island effect, like all being thrown in together and enjoying that adventure together. And we've got some amazing pictures and videos and drone footage from that time with them. I would say this is so easy if you actually look for it. Make an effort to chat to locals, because I'm telling you, when you're traveling, people want to know about your adventures and you can learn so much about them too. And when you are really stuck, you can go on Facebook or Reddit or Discord, and you'll find groups of people just like you looking for other people to go out with. And if you're still stuck, you've got hostels, you've got hotels. You can walk into any hostel, sit down, talk to people, and immediately have a group of friends to go and do an adventure with that day. All right, so now you know the real psychology, or my psychology, behind cheap travel. You know how the right mindset can turn budget trips or cheap travels into most unforgettable memories you'll ever have. Stay flexible, stay curious, and just keep the right attitude. You'll find yourself saving money without missing out, and you won't even notice. In the next part of this series, we're going to have a look at finding low transportation costs and flights, because a great mindset is just a start, and my tips will help you find the best deals as you scour the internet. And of course, we're going to do all of this without breaking the bank. So I'll see you in the next video. Thanks so much for watching. Safe travels. I'll see you soon.